Let's talk about business projects, those ambitious endeavors that promise growth and innovation. They often start with big meetings, brainstorming sessions filled with buzzwords, and a palpable sense of excitement. Everyone's eager to jump in and make a difference. But all too often, they end up over budget, significantly off track from the initial timeline. And even worse, with the original crucial goals completely forgotten amidst the chaos. The initial vision fades, replaced by frustration and a sense of wasted effort. Why does this happen so frequently? Because most projects launch on a foundation of hope and enthusiasm, rather than a solid, well-defined plan. There's an assumption that things will simply fall into place. That's where Six Sigma's define phase comes in, the absolutely crucial first step that sets the stage for everything that follows. Think of the define phase as your project's origin story, the foundational narrative that guides every decision. It rigorously clarifies exactly what's wrong with the current situation, precisely why it matters to the business, and most importantly, what tangible success will ultimately look like when the project is complete. It establishes these crucial parameters before you waste valuable time and precious money on solutions that might not even address the core problem. Skipping the define phase is like a surgeon boldly operating on a patient without a proper diagnosis. A risky and potentially harmful endeavor. It might seem exciting in the moment, but it's ultimately disastrous for the patient, or in this case, your project. The define phase is your project's detailed roadmap, guiding you through every twist and turn. It forces you to ask the tough, uncomfortable questions up front, clearly sets the ultimate destination you're striving to reach, and rigorously ensures that you're dedicating your resources to solving a real, specific, and impactful problem. It might seem like just paperwork at first glance, but it's actually the strong, unshakable foundation upon which everything else will be built. Start strong with a well-defined plan, and you'll set your project up for real, tangible, and measurable success that benefits everyone involved. The define phase is about getting your story straight. The who, what, where, when, and why. It transforms vague complaints into clear, actionable problem statements. Terrible isn't a metric. You need specifics. Start by identifying the problem. What's broken? How do you know? And how often? Gather real data, not just office gossip. Pinpoint the pain point and its business impact. Lost money, reputation, or morale. Tie the problem to tangible consequences. That's how you get buy-in. Identify stakeholders, customers, employees, managers, and leaders. Know who's affected and who needs to be involved. Ignoring stakeholders is a recipe for failure. The define phase builds a coalition around a clear, shared problem. That's your launchpad. To master the define phase, you need 5 key deliverables: project charter, SIPOC diagram, voice of the customer, VOC, critical to quality, CTQ tree, and a high-level process map. The project charter is your project's birth certificate, summarizing the problem, goal, scope, and team. The SIPOC diagram gives you a high-level map of your process. VOC captures what your customers actually want, using real feedback, not guesses. The CTQ tree translates customer needs into measurable requirements. The process map shows the main steps you're trying to fix. Together, these tools ensure you're solving the right problem for the right people. They're your shield and sword for what's ahead. Master them, and you're unstoppable. Let's break them down. Break. The project charter is the most important document in the define phase. It's a contract that spells out what the project is and isn't, protecting you from scope creep. Key elements: business case, why this matters, problem and goal statements, scope, what's in and out, team roles, and a high-level timeline. For example, a coffee shop's charter might state, customer complaints about inconsistent latte foam have increased 40% in 6 months, costing $50,000 monthly. The scope: focus on latte making in 10 downtown locations only. Team roles and milestones are listed for accountability. The charter keeps everyone aligned and focused. It's your project's mission statement. Without it, you're lost. With it, you're ready to move forward. Let's see how to map the chaos next. With your charter firmly in hand, outlining the project's purpose and scope, it's time to dive into the SIPOC diagram. Think of it as a simple yet powerful high-level map that visually represents your process. It's a fantastic tool for gaining a shared understanding of the project and its key elements right from the start. We're going to use it to define the boundaries of our process and identify the key players involved. Start with customers. Who are the recipients of your process's output? Then, identify the outputs. What are the tangible or intangible products or services that your process delivers to those customers? Next, map out the key process steps. What are the major activities or stages involved in transforming inputs into outputs? Then, list the inputs. What resources, materials, or information are required to execute the process? And finally, identify the suppliers. Who provides the inputs needed for your process to function? For our coffee shop, customers are patrons, those individuals who walk through our doors seeking a caffeine fix and a pleasant experience. Outputs are lattes, cappuccinos, espressos, and the receipts that document each transaction. Process steps include taking orders from eager customers, grinding beans to release their rich aroma, steaming milk to create that velvety texture, pulling shots of concentrated espresso, combining all the elements with artistry, and serving the final product with a smile. Inputs are beans, the heart of our coffee, milk, for creamy goodness, water, the essential base, cups, to hold our creations, and of course the customer orders themselves, dictating what we craft. Suppliers are roasters, who provide the crucial coffee beans, dairies, ensuring a steady supply of fresh milk, water companies, ensuring purity, cup makers, providing vessels, and even the customers themselves, who supply the orders that drive our process. This map clearly defines your project's boundaries, setting the stage for focused improvement efforts. Next, it's crucial to capture the voice of the customer, VOC. This is where we move beyond assumptions and truly understand what our customers want and need. Don't guess, listen intently to what your customers are telling you. Use surveys to gather broad feedback, conduct in-depth interviews to uncover nuanced perspectives, meticulously analyze reviews to identify recurring themes, and actively solicit feedback through various channels. Gather real, unfiltered customer experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sometimes my latte is perfect, a symphony of flavors and textures. Sometimes it's just hot milk, a disappointing imitation of the real thing. These insights are gold. They reveal what truly matters to your customers, highlighting areas where you excel and pinpointing opportunities for improvement. VOC is about understanding expectations in their own words, capturing the language they use to describe their experiences and desires. This feedback is the raw material, the unrefined ore that will fuel your process improvement efforts. Now, let's turn those screams of frustration, those whispers of delight, into actionable data that will guide our path forward. The CTQ tree, or critical to quality tree, is a powerful tool that transforms raw customer feedback, often expressed as vague complaints or desires, into something concrete and actionable. It's about taking those customer screams, as we sometimes call them, and translating them into a language that your business can understand and act upon. It essentially translates customer feedback into measurable requirements. This ensures that everyone in the organization is aligned on what quality truly means from the customer's perspective. Start with a broad need, something simple and direct like, "I want a good latte." This is the customer's voice, unfiltered and straightforward. Now, we need to break it down. What makes a good latte? Well, the foam quality is certainly a factor. The temperature is also crucial. Nobody wants a lukewarm latte. And of course, the taste. The overall flavor profile needs to be just right. Now, let's define specifics. For example, the foam must be dense and it should last for at least 5 minutes, maintaining its texture and consistency. Furthermore, it needs to be half an inch thick, providing that perfect creamy layer. The temperature should consistently fall between 150 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit, ensuring optimal flavor and enjoyment. And finally, the taste should not be bitter, but rather balanced and smooth. Now you have concrete metrics that you can actually measure and track. These CTQs directly guide what you'll track and monitor in the measure phase of your improvement project. Next, it's time to create a high-level process map. This should be a simple flowchart that outlines the key steps involved in the process. Let's consider the process for making lattes. First, we take the order, then grind the beans. Next, steam the milk and pull the espresso shot. Finally, combine the ingredients and serve the latte. This process map ensures that everyone is on the same page and agrees on the fundamental steps involved. Later on, you'll delve into more detail. But for now, it's best to keep it simple and focused on the core steps. With clearly defined CTQs and a well-defined process map, you're now well-equipped and ready to define the problem you're trying to solve. So, let's move forward and write a problem statement that is not only clear, but also actionable and effective. The problem statement is critical and often botched. Don't rant or blame. Be clear, concise, and factual. A good statement describes the gap between current and desired states using data, not opinions. Use this template. In the last time frame, problem in has resulted in impact. The gap is, describe the gap. Example, in the last 6 months, customer complaints about inconsistent latte foam at 10 downtown locations increased 40%, causing $50,000 monthly loss and a 15-point drop in satisfaction. Current complaint rate 12%, target 2%. It's specific, measurable, time-bound, and free of blame or solutions. This statement becomes your team's rallying cry. It's the dragon you're here to slay. Everyone knows what you're fighting. Now define what winning looks like. Time for the goal statement. The goal statement is your finish line. The clear, measurable target for success. Don't settle for improved quality. Use the SMART framework. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Example, reduce latte foam complaints from 12% to 2% at 10 downtown locations by December 31st, 2025. Achieve this by addressing root causes, recovering $40,000 monthly revenue, and boosting satisfaction by 10 points. Check. Is it specific? Yes. Measurable? Yes. Achievable? Ambitious but possible. Relevant? Tied to business goals? Time-bound? Absolutely. This goal gives your team a crystal clear target. Everyone knows what success looks like. No ambiguity, just action. The goal statement turns a wish into a plan. Now, you're ready to move forward. The define phase is almost complete. Let's wrap it up. The define phase isn't just paperwork. It's the real work that prevents failure. You started with a vague problem. Now you have a charter, process map, customer insights, CTQs, a problem statement, and a SMART goal. You've turned chaos into clarity and anxiety into a focused plan. Everyone knows what success looks like and how to measure it. This foundation makes every next step easier and more effective. A weak define phase is a house built on sand, so embrace this phase. Don't rush. Get obsessed with clarity. The rigor you apply here pays off tenfold. You've defined your mission and are ready for the next step. Now go gather the data that will light your path. The measure phase awaits. Good luck.